Hi ADHD friends, ready to become gutsy cooks? Let's start now. Today we're going to make spinach casserole. There's the picture of the finished casserole. You can see it has a nice buttery crust, beautiful. This is not your mother's spinach casserole. This is not the kind with the mushroom soup and the crunchy onions and all that jazz. No. This does have butter, but it also has lots of spinach, cheese, and eggs. So this is a great casserole, not only as a side dish, but you can serve it, and you'll see a piece of it right there on the plate. You can serve this with rice, especially brown rice, and it's a complete meal. You have your vegetable, your protein, your dairy, everything right there on the plate. It is one of our favorite dishes. You can also cut it in smaller pieces, and it is sturdy enough that you can place toothpicks in the pieces and serve it as an appetizer at a party. So, all right, there are lots of steps and there are some ingredients. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 ingredients. I don't want you to get scared. Hang in there with me because it is worth it. This casserole is delicious. Gather your equipment, your ingredients, and yourself. Here are our equipment and ingredients for spinach casserole. I am going to read the list. Sometimes I give tips and tricks while I'm reading it. If you want to, you can pause it to gather your equipment and ingredients, or you can just let it run and listen to me. I do read these out loud for our visually impaired friends. All right, equipment. You'll need a microwave-safe bowl. This is for cooking the spinach. You need a 13 by 9 baking dish, a colander, a piece of cheesecloth, about 12 by 12. You can find this in the grocery store. If you don't have it, use paper towels to drain the spinach. A medium mixing bowl, a whisk, measuring cups, measuring spoons, a liquid measuring cup, and a nonstick spatula. The kind of spatula, not the pancake turner kind, the mixing kind. All right, for ingredients, 2 packages of frozen chopped spinach, 10 ounces each, 4 tablespoons of salted butter. You are going to want the salted butter. It gives flavor to that crunchy crust. 1 medium onion, 1 cup of self-rising flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 3 eggs, 1 cup of milk. Any fat content is fine, skim or whole, and 2 cups of shredded cheese. Get ready. In a microwave-safe dish, cook the spinach per package directions. Usually this means taking them out of the paper boxes or bag and cooking it on high for 6 minutes. It's as simple as that. Then you're going to turn the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Preheat that oven. Place the butter in the baking dish and go ahead and put it in the oven. It can be before it's even preheated, and put it into the oven to melt. So as the oven's heating up, the butter's melting. Then you're going to place the 12 by 12 inch piece of cheesecloth in the colander. And once that spinach is cooked in the colander, cooked in the microwave, be careful, it's going to be hot, but you're going to pour that spinach into the cheesecloth or paper towels that's on top of the colander. Then you're going to gather the edges of the cheesecloth or paper towels and twist and squeeze out all of the water. If you need to wait for a few minutes until that spinach cools off, if it's still steaming, please do that. Don't burn your fingers. Then the last step in getting ready is to shred the onion and the cheese with the box grater or another grater that you have. So after all of those steps, you will be ready. I wanted to demonstrate what I meant with the cheesecloth and the spinach. You can see there's my microwave safe dish with the heated spinach. Pour it onto the cheesecloth, gather those edges, and twist. Quite a bit of water is going to come out of the spinach. You're going to be surprised. And if you use paper towels, the reason I say use cheesecloth is because it's relatively cheap. It comes in a package at the grocery store, whereas if you use paper towels, you're going to use a ton of paper towels. Not good for the earth. So I just wanted to show you what that process looked like, because it's likely that many of you have not done that before. And here's what it looks like when it's all done, a lump of spinach. Combine. Next step after you squeeze that spinach is to combine the eggs and milk in the mixing bowl and beat with the whisk for a count of 30. Once that's well mixed together, you're going to add the salt and then the flour and beat with the whisk, counting to 30 again. Next, you're going to add the onions, and you'll see I had red onions. I didn't have any yellow onions available, so I substituted red onions this time, and it turned out just fine. Actually, it was quite delicious. So add the onions and the spinach and the cheese. And you're going to mix these all together with the whisk. The big thing to look for here is to make sure that all of the lumps of spinach are broken up and mixed in. So it kind of takes some poking and prodding of those spinach lumps, but the last thing you want is somebody to take a bite of unseasoned spinach in the middle of your casserole. Ugh. You probably won't have a repeat customer if that's the case. All right, remove the baking dish from the oven, and you're going to see all that nice browned butter. Only a little bit of it will be brown. Most of it will just be melted. You're going to go ahead and pour your mixture over the top, just like you saw me do. And you can use your whisk, and then I would use a nonstick spatula to smooth out the top. Just like that. You want to make sure it's nice and even. If you do have one big lump somewhere, it's not going to smooth out. You'll still have that one big lump when you're finished. So it's a good idea to go ahead and smooth it out. Heat. Bake in the oven for 35 minutes. And you know the drill. Set a timer or 2 timers, or write down the time of when it's supposed to be finished. I know I'm a little crazy with the 2 timers thing. And yes, timers constantly accidentally get canceled around here. So we don't want to put all this work into spinach casserole and then not have a nice dish when you're finished. Set the timer. Finish and serve. Using a sharp knife, you're going to cut the casserole into squares and use a pie server or the spatula to remove it from the pan. This spinach casserole is so yummy, hot, cold, or reheated. So if you use it for one meal and you have leftovers, it is sometimes even better the next day. A couple things I want to mention. Squeeze all of that water out of the spinach or the dish will be ruined. So don't skip any part of that step. You really have to get all the water out of the spinach. Otherwise, the fattier parts of the dish, like the butter, the cheese, the milk, they will not be able to adhere to the spinach because the water will be repelling it. The other thing is, check the butter while it's in the oven, in the dish, while the oven's heating up. You may want to pause and check it if that second step or the spinach is taking you a little while longer, because you don't want the butter to burn. If all of the butter is brown or dark, the butter has burned. So another tip, because I want this to turn out great for you, it is one of our favorite dishes. Again, I know I always say that, but it really is. You'll find yourself just going in the refrigerator and opening up the foil of the leftovers and just taking a little and putting it in your mouth. It's that good. All right, guys, you know what it's time for. Go get gutsy. If you like this recipe, please subscribe. Thank you for your time and attention. Now go get gutsy.